Is there any other discussion on this? Okay, Mary? Okay, Commissioner Smith? Yes. Commissioner McDonald?
Yes.
Commissioner Nino?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Yes.
Commissioner Withers?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay. Any public comment? Looks like it'd have to be on Zoom.
One moment, there's somebody coming in from the waiting room. So you'll have to ask that question again in a second. Just want to make sure that okay, ask the question again.
Is there any public comment from the audience?
Just want to ask specifically, Kindwin, did you want have any public comment? Yes, she's trying to raise her hand. I had a feeling.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Yes, I would like to address, there are so many questions for people, and I am just so appalled at the lack of transparency that the SETD board and former director Jeff Hazen has done. It is appalling. There are still people without bus service. The public hasn't gotten any answers. And, you know, this is just not okay. This is not okay. You know, the fact that Jeff Hazen has got like a parting gift from his resignation of the severance package is being paid. This is just outrageous. This needs to stop. This is just not okay. And something has got to be done. This needs to be made right because there's so many uncertainties. And while I'm glad and hope that ODOT is able to sign the loan to help get some people at least on the road, there's still no fixed routes. There's still no service. There's still no accountability. There's been no transparency. There's all these closed meetings. The public has not made aware of any of this. And this just needs to, this is just outrageous. This is an injustice. This needs to be fixed. There's people suffering. Their livelihoods are on the line right now. And I want to know what the current board is going to do about this right now. The whole slate needs to be wiped clean from everybody. And we need people in here that are actually going to, on the board, that are going to do their due diligence, that are going to ask questions and communicate with the public and be honest with the public and transparent with the public so we can get the answers, you know, because this could have been, you know, nipped in the bud before any major problems began. You know, had the board members been aware of what was going on or asked questions if there was indiscrepancies, like there was, Jeff Hazen was suspended back in February of 23. And there was problems in the Astorian, you know, and if there was board questions, why wasn't the public being made aware of this? Why wasn't there being, you know, this brought to the attention by the board members? You know, to the public for help, because the public, you know, if you're a board member and you're representing us public, you could have came to us, you know, we could have maybe try to help solve this problem before it came to this, because now everybody's met, you know, everybody, we're all, you know, suffering for the consequences of what has happened and transpired, and it's just not right. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Don't see anybody else with their, oh, yes, Jim?
Oh, hello. I guess I'm unmuted. I'm just a candidate for the Tillamook Transportation Board. But, you know, in terms of transparency, what Gwendolyn was talking about, you know, the Transportation Board is actually, you know, Tillamook and Sunset Empire are very transparent, you know. You can go to the website, you can read the meeting packet. It's voluminous and it's hard, but you can see back in February, there was red ink all over the thing. It's not like it was a totally unexpected. Like I say, I was I'm just a candidate for the Tillamook board, but I was at the last board meeting. And Tillamook wants to help in any way they can, and the board granted Brian authority to do what he thinks best. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Any others?
I don't see any other hands up at this time. Somebody else came in during that last public comment. This is the public comment period. If you would like to make public comment, raise your hand. I don't see any physical or Zoom hands.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to the board approval for the chair to sign the ODOT loan agreement. So Wednesday, when we were at the meeting, the loan documents that we had in front of us were a draft, and the maturity dates in those papers were for a 2-year payoff. We asked for a 4-year payoff. So the state of Oregon has sent us now what is the original loan documents with the proper maturity dates on them. So we need an amended motion to accept these loan papers and to authorize the chair to sign them and the promissory note.
And Madam Chairman, since that was my motion, I would move to amend my motion for us to accept the original loan document payment amortization schedule and authorize the board chair to sign for the district.
The loan papers and authorization.
The loan papers.
And the promissory note, sorry.
And the promissory note.
Thank you, Tracy.
Okay.
Second,
Second.
thank you, Rebecca. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bluschmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Nino,
Yes.
Commissioner Legria,
Yes.
Commissioner Withers,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. We do need to appoint a budget officer, and Paul has said he would be willing to take that on.
I would nominate Paul in that position.
Okay.
I'll-
Maybe a motion.
And then I would so move that.
So there's been a motion to appoint Paul as the budget officer. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Charles. Any discussion? You're comfortable with that, Paul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluschmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Nino,
Yes.
Commissioner Legria,
Yes.
Commissioner Withers,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. And we need to set some dates for the budget meetings also. And I would like to set 2 dates now, and then if we need a third, which we may need a third this year, do a third at our second meeting.
Let me just go grab my phone to see on the calendar.
Thank you.
I don't think we'll have-
Madam Chair,
Yes, Charles.
all previously scheduled dates should be stricken and we can come up with brand new dates.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jim, you're telling
We had changed, we canceled the first and then the 10th is still on the books. So it's just the one that we will be canceling, the 10th.
So we had canceled the meeting on the 5th earlier. We are going
Yes.
to cancel the one on the 10th. So now we need, and I know Pamela had already said that she is not available on the 19th. Charles?
Yeah, Madam Chair, since there is obviously some work on Paul's side, Paul, how much time will you need to put together what you need to do?
I will make the work that I have to do fit into whatever schedule the board and the budget committee agree on.
Realistically, how long are we talking about?
Well, I believe we have a draft in place. I'm going to go through that in the next couple of days. Maybe at this point, I should make a statement that I believe Arlen made at our last meeting. The plan at this point is to put together a budget. It may not be precise and entirely accurate because we don't even know what service we're going to have, what employees we're going to be up, and that affects just about all of the line items. So we will put a budget together that we'll ask for approval on, so that on June 30th, we'll have that approval and be able to be in business on July 1st. Through the course of July and August, we will tweak that to reflect what's actually going to happen to the best of our knowledge going forward next year. But I don't believe there's the time or the collective knowledge to put together a budget that we can live with for the next 12 months. So that's kind of the plan. So I'll be taking the draft that we have now, go through it and make sure there's nothing that doesn't make sense. Ask the budget committee to approve it with the understanding that we will be looking more closely at each line item in the ensuing 60 days, probably most likely submit an amended budget or a budget supplemental budget in that period.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy?
Can I tentatively suggest the 24th? That's a Wednesday.
So we have a budget, our board meeting scheduled for the 25th, which means the board packs have to go out on the 18th, that's of May. So, wondering,
I would,
could we combine the budget meeting with the board meeting?
I think it's gonna take too long. I don't know, I don't think we're gonna run through it in 3 hours like we've normally done.
No,
I was
I have a-
kind of looking at the 17th and then maybe the 31st.
I'm not gonna be, you can do without me, so.
Okay, so they have to have 2 weeks, 10 days, have to have 10 days prior, so. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nope. Gotta go farther down
Commissioner Reed has her hand raised.
for notice.
Rebecca?
Yeah, excuse me. On the 10th, I mean, all of the existing scheduled budget meetings are now off the table, previously scheduled, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And can I also add that I know that this is, I understand the situation right now where we're, preparing for the audit, et cetera, and, uncovering issues, with our financials. Do we feel like we need any extra time on these sessions in order to make sure that we have clarity and, there's a full understanding of all that we're going over? Because, I think that is one of the issues that is at hand right now, is that the issues with AccuFund and that, there's really some problems with our financials. So, does this make our regular sessions any different? I guess that's my question. Do we need extra time for?
We
for
still have
these?
to have the budget in by the 31st period. So
For
we have
June.
to have the budget completed by our June meeting.
Okay, all right,
So, and Mary needs 10 days notice.
22nd.
So the soonest she can meet, the soonest we can get going is the 22nd.
I think so. 23rd would be perfect. Because it takes, it has to be a legal notice,
Okay,
It'll take me a day to get the legal notice, but I just want to make sure that we get it out there.
so could we do the 20, okay.
May 23rd?
No, Tracy works on Tuesdays. What about May 24th and June 7th as 2 possible days? Those are both Wednesdays.
those are both good for me.
Both good for me.
24th and the 7th,
The 24th and the 7th, yes.
they're good for me.
Deanna?
24.
Wait a minute, so we're doing a
Yeah,
budget for the 24th and a meeting for another packet on the 25th?
A regular meeting on the
Yeah,
25th.
Budget meeting on the 24th, regular meeting on the 25th.
I
Why don't
can
we
do
just have the
both
budget?
dates.
And I
And then
would
we would be reviewing, so on our June 22nd regular board meeting is when we would be
Voting on it.
Yeah.
voting on it to approve it.
Yeah.
And that would be enough time to
Yes.
yes.
publish it and, okay.
Aye.
Yeah, the May 24th and June 7th works for me.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Pamela had her hand first.
No, I've almost forgotten what I was going to say.
yes, I think she was concerned, the meeting we have after the first budget meeting has nothing to do with the budget.
No, I understand that. We have to read it.
Well, we usually
And
have the
understand.
Don't read.
on Friday, the 19th,
18,
18th or 19th.
depending.
So it depends on how fast we can get it out this month. Go ahead, Pamela.
Go ahead.
Can you schedule 2 meetings for the budget because of publication? Say, not everything is resolved on whatever date. And then in your
Or-
publication notice, you say, then we will resume in a day or two. So you're not in a mess with the 10-day
We
notification.
said the 24th and the 7th of June for the budget. Thank you, Tracy.
Fine.
Is that good?
Good, she's good. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
And
you.
what are the hours for this? 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or
sure, I like that.
that's what we had previously?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Tracy. Okay, is everybody okay with those?
Yes.
For May 24th and June 7th.
Yes,
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Charles?
Will this be, will we do a hybrid on this, I guess?
We can. It would probably be easier if we were in person, but we can do a hybrid.
Oh, I can work out the in-person, I was just,
Public meeting.
Charles, we will have to do a hybrid.
okay.
Okay? Okay, we've got our dates for that. Is there anything else? We want to do a little update on where we're at?
I would like to do that, yeah. I'm excited to be here today, even though we have, dire circumstances. I kind of look at today as a new beginning. We're all kind of starting from a seed again and hoping to grow as quickly as we can and substantially as we can. I just wanted to let the board know that all of our time each day is focused on getting the buses on the road on Monday for paratransit, evaluating what funds we have, what funds are in the pipeline, and projecting our cash flow over the next 8 weeks to get us to the beginning of the new fiscal year. Some of the things that we have done already, I can tell you that we will have the paratransit buses on the road on Monday. We have called 2 paratransit drivers and a mechanic to report to duty on Monday. The staff that's required to do the administrative and the planning and the work that needs to be done to get us going again has been salaried staff, and the staff has all agreed to be changed from salary exempt to hourly exempt. So instead of paying full 40 hours every week, we'll be paying on the hours worked, because we may not have to work everybody a full 40 hours every week. So we should be able to save some money there, or at least not spend money that is not absolutely necessary at this point. We have gotten some more help from ODOT, and specifically Arla. And I want to thank Arla for her on-site 24/7 help, which is what she's given us. But we are seeking permission to amend a couple of the projects in our STIF plan to give us more discretion on how that particular money will be spent. And we will be able to use it to support our fixed route service with more flexibility than we normally would be. Normally, you don't get a chance to change your project descriptions once you submit the plan, but the state may do this for us in recognition of our situation at this point. Bottom line is that means more operating funds than we would otherwise have had going forward. Funds that can be used for repayment of the loan, for operating expenses, for fixed route service. It will be very helpful. I have been requested to speak to the Oregon Transportation Commission on the 11th, which is Thursday next week, and let them know where we are, what we're doing, and what we're planning to do. I'm looking forward to that, but I realize that it's a huge responsibility and a pivotal point in our recovery. So I will do my best to represent us well and transparently and reassure the commission that we're in it to win. I'm working with the people to whom we owe money, specifically SDIS and SDAO, and through them Brown and Brown Insurance, to make sure that they understand we know we're in arrears, we have a repayment plan to them, the dates that they can expect the payment from us, so we don't risk cancellation of any of our coverages. And I don't anticipate any problem working with them as long as we stay in touch with them and be honest about what we anticipate doing about the money we owe them. Working with Kelly, we've come up with a spreadsheet which hopefully will be the kind of information that you folks are looking at going forward, but it will give us a visual of the pay that's going out, the AP that's going out, the income that's coming in by 2-week periods and projected out through July 1st. So very soon we should be able to say, for sure we can do this or for sure we can't. Although I believe it's going to show that for sure we can with some of the measures that we're taking right now. We may have mentioned this at the last meeting, but we did set up a separate bank account for the loan funds, which was a requirement, and we've complied with that. And I'm going to go through all of the bills and see what we can reduce. Can we take out phone instruments we're not using? Can we reduce our frequency of shelter cleaning? Those kind of cancel bottled water delivery. I know these are small things, but through our whole chart of accounts, we can make little reductions here and there. And what we're looking for, of course, is to get our expenses for each month down to a point we can afford them. I think those are the only points that I wanted to make. I guess I would sum up by saying that I'm optimistic and I feel very positive going forward. I'm grateful for the commitment of staff and the board, and I believe we'll come out of this in a healthy way.
Thank you.
Pamela?
Can 101, Route 101, bus route 101 be started? I thought there was some money. We were told there was some money that was specifically targeted for 101, not targeted, to be spent. I don't understand when buses other than paratransit will be started. Can we use the money for the loan for some bus routes to be started other than paratransit?
Here's what's going to happen, Pam, and this is what I'll tell the OTC on Thursday. I may know more by Thursday, but we have certain bills that have to be paid within the next short term, or we lose insurance. Those have to be paid. We have payrolls that we have to cover. Now, we met this last payroll 100%. We're clear on that. As we're bringing people back, we need to be able to pay them. We need to be able to fuel the buses that we're going to run. I need to be able to see that we have enough money to do that. And how much additional money do we have? We're anticipating some timber funds and some other accounts receivable. So I know what that might be, but I need to project that out. And if there's enough money to cover a Route 101 startup or restart, we will do that. That would be the route that we're looking at. And if I can take it a step further, what I'd like to see is that route extended out to Emerald Heights and down to Cannon Beach. And I'm thinking 2 loops in the early part of the day and 2 loops in the later part of the day. And I'm hoping to provide that service on the weekend as well. If the money is there, we should be able to do that within the next 2 weeks. We will do it as early as we're sure that we can support it and continue operations through the end of this fiscal year. There's no point in starting something we can't maintain. There's no point in hoping we can do it. I'd like to prove it on paper and make sure the board agrees before I pull the trigger. We can't afford a misstep at this point. We can't afford to give false hope and pull it back from our riders. So that's the plan, Pamela. I hope that answers your question.
Well, is there any chance to delay payment to SDIS? They're supposed to help us out. I mean, we're not, to help us out, couldn't they delay the payment and still cover people?
We
I mean,
have,
our priority is to get the buses on the road, and that doesn't, and I understand finances, but we're not helping the people we're supposed to be helping.
first of all, when it comes to insurance, if you're not paid up, they're not covering you. If you have a liability and you need coverage and we haven't paid, we're not going to get it. There's too much risk involved in doing that. But I will say that we owe 3 months. We're going to make 1 month by the date that it's due to avoid cancellation. As soon as we can become current on our payables, we'll do that. At this point, we're paying what we have to so that we have what we can left over to support operations. It's a bit of a balancing act, but I still don't think that we can take unnecessary risks. So there are some things we have to do.
Is there a possibility there are some places that have buses that we could ask them to pick up people, maybe from beginning of people's work time to the end, and something like that?
I don't think that that's the kind of business that we're in. I think we need to work toward restoring the business, the service that we're here to provide. Businesses, riders, the community may have to find a way to meet their needs until, through our efforts here, we can start to provide that service again. And we're going to do it as quickly as possible and as robustly as possible. But we're not going to do it unless we can sustain it. So,
Is there a possibility to borrow money to get another loan with the 500,000 as collateral, or is that
No.
way out of line?
here's where we are with the loan. If we do all of the things that are required of us in the terms of the loan and show a plan, which I'm going to show to the OTC next week, to recover service, to recover financial stability for 30 days, the state will consider a second $500,000 loan. That's what I've been told. And I have every intention of meeting the terms of this loan, which requires some plans to be submitted, the separate bank account. There are other terms. I think you all have a copy of the note. So yes, there's a second loan out there if we do well with the first loan.
And in terms of the ex-director's situation that we have to go over, can that be delayed until everybody is paid? I mean, I'm not saying whether we agree or not agree, but even to have discussions on it, because we have to pay a lawyer for it, to delay that. We don't have money to pay him anyway, if we have to pay him, which I'm against, but can that be delayed, or do we have to, there's nothing in the contract that I see, and I may not understand it, that we have to do this now?
That will be a question for the attorney, and I will be contacting Matt either today or tomorrow concerning that. I know Matt has been in trial this week, so I have not reached out to him, but I will be doing that either today or tomorrow and see if he can give any answers on if there's a timeline that we have to have the severance package done, if we can't, all of those questions that you just said, if we can extend it out a little bit, if we even have to give him a severance package.
Well, that's what I
Me
want,
reading the
right.
contract, I can't tell. So those are all questions for the attorney. Rebecca was first.
Our website now has a posting for alternate opportunities for people to find rides. Is that correct? I was told that through Clatsop Behavioral Health.
I can't speak to that.
I don't know.
No? Our website does? No, it does not. I don't think so.
We don't know, we'll have to look and see.
Yeah, I think that that's what we need to do, is to put that on there. You know, I appreciate that, you know, Google has posted some information
I'll call them.
about the transportation district. And so I would like to, you know, make sure that, you know, we provided as much information to the public as we can at this time.
Mary's gonna look into that and take care of it.
Thank you.
I haven't been notified by them that we can do that, so
Okay.
I'll check it.
She'll check. Charles?
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. Paul, I think you'll do an excellent job at working things out. The thing we have to watch right now, though, is I know we want the buses. No one wants the buses up more than our riders do. But the last thing we want to do is shut down again. So I think you have to crawl, the old term, you have to crawl before you walk. And I think Paul will help us crawl, I'm assuming. And ultimately, if we crawl properly, we'll be walking soon. And then from then on, we'll be able to start running. But the worst thing we could do is to overstep ourselves and have to shut down again.
I agree with you, Charles. We can't start a route that's going to put us backwards and then have to stop it. We have to make sure that we just bring back our routes as we know that we can keep them up and running. Deanna?
And just for the record, that the severance package has not been decided on. We're still
No.
looking into
Right.
what the contract says and what is done. So for the public and people watching, that has not been decided. It is not the intention of, it is not our intention to give him a parting gift, as it was called earlier. We're still looking into what legally we need to do, because we don't want to be defaulting on our legal responsibilities. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for bringing that up, Deanna.
Thank you, Deanna.
Pamela?
Just wondering if we could prepare a list of places at the bus shelters, and I would offer to do this, of where they can get another ride, and have that information also given to Stephanie, that if people call and it's posted on the Astoria Transit Center and the Seaside. And I would help out with that. Is that possible?
Stephanie has not been called back. The decision hasn't been made to open the transit centers yet. Our methods of communicating with the public right now are press releases, the website, Facebook, and those are currently being used. I'm a little hesitant to post things out there because the situation is changing daily. I'm not making any commitments here, but if everything goes more quickly than we think, we might be up on a fixed route before the end of next week. I don't know, and I'm reluctant to say anything that I can't be certain to support. But the more we put out there in writing, other than electronic, the more we have to worry about what's current and what's not. I think the public is being made aware in the print media, press releases, and the electronic or the social media. If the
Then I
board votes
also-
differently, of course, I would comply, but that's my feeling.
And I also want to make a public plug for Stephanie. She is the face of Sunset. Thank you.
Yeah, good. We have to make one other statement, please, in the interest of our transparency. I want to say that we do have a liability that wasn't considered previously, and you need to be aware of these things, and I'm sure Kelly will bring it up at the next board meeting, but there is an amount of accrued vacation for our employees in the amount of about $125,000, which represents the hours that all of our employees who are furloughed have accrued while they were working. At the time that they officially separate from the company, if they do, or when they come back to work, that bank is available to them. That is an amount of money that is a liability, that is an expense. At some point, we will have to pay that out. But I just want to go on the record so you know that's there, so it doesn't come up as a surprise later.
I appreciate that, and daily emails doesn't have to be even literate, and you know how I feel about that. What's happening, so that we're not blindsided again.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Anything else? If there's nothing else, I will go ahead and adjourn our meeting at 10:10.
Madam Chair?
Oh, Charles, go ahead. I haven't adjourned it yet.
Okay, I was thinking, have we given Paul the authority to sign checks?
Yes.
That was the
We
previous.
did last
Okay.
month. We did
Okay.
Wednesday, yes. Last month.
But
Okay.
they have to go in. They have to go in again and resign.
I don't think so, but Paul will have to.
We've
I'll ask
always
her.
had for everybody to have to
Everybody
resign.
has to go in
Okay.
and sign. Yeah.
So Deanna, you may have to go in and sign. I'm gonna go to the bank today. I will find out for positive. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to, like, we already covered everything that was needed for the loan to be signed and to get that going.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Mary just has to finish up these minutes real fast because they have to go with the loan.
And then for me to go and sign, include my signature in the bank, it would have to be next week. I'll be out all day today. I have to go to Portland.
Okay, I will make sure the bank knows you'll be in tomorrow or next week.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'll let Tracy know also. Charles?
One last thing, Madam Chair. Paul, if all things go well and go right, how soon can we have cash in the bank?
I'm not gonna,
I mean, approximately,
Well-
you can't say.
okay, we have $6,000 in the bank right now. We expect the loan to fund on Monday.
Either today or Monday, but Monday for sure.
That's $500,000.
Good, thank you.
Timber money, we're looking at somewhere around $70,000, somewhere around the middle of May, as a matter of fact. Those are the big items at this point.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you, Paul.
yes.
Yes, Pamela?
I think what you have to do, Paul, is go to the bank, get your name on, because there can be a delay of checks if you have to somehow talk to somebody there at the bank.
The account's already set up. All he has to do is go over and sign the card.
I'll do it
Okay,
tonight.
good.
Okay.
I would recommend that somebody, do you have meeting minutes from the last meeting that approves Paul as a signer that Kelly's gonna need for the bank to be able to create the card?
Good point.
I don't think so.
She's already asked me for that, but I have not had time to do those minutes.
But the minutes need to be approved, so you can't just take.
So I
out
can't
those
sign
minutes.
today.
So they'll have to be approved on our next meeting.
I don't know if we can wait that long.
I'm just texting her, I'll ask her.
Okay, we'll figure that part of it out.
Thank you, Kat.
Can I hop in for just a second?
Yes.
Oh, you're there. Great.
I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if you could hear me. So
Wait,
I
where are you? Okay. Go ahead.
I do have to have meeting minutes from the last meeting approving removing Jeff and adding Paul. On top of that, everyone that's continuing to be a signer, so Deanna, Debbie, and Tracy will all also have to re-sign in order for everything to be set. So I can reach out to the bank and let them know that that is in process, but they won't start any of it until they actually have the meeting minutes.
Okay.
You have to have another meeting.
Does that require an additional meeting, short meeting to approve the minutes?
Well,
It could be a phone meeting.
we still have to be hybrid.
Public meeting.
No.
We still have, you have to sign everything too, don't you?
Two board members can sign.
So we've got Deanna and myself and Tracy can still sign, so that gives two of us. And we can approve the board minutes. We can approve Wednesday's board minutes on our next board meeting on the 25th. And there's three of us that can sign, we just need to have two people signing all the checks, so we should be okay.
Yes, we're fine as far as being able to continue to process AP, as we can have two of the board members sign. But in order for it to change and to get Jeff off of the account, we have to have the meeting minutes.
Right.
How about for payroll? Can we still do payroll?
We can still process payroll, yes.
Because most of those are automatic deposits anyway, aren't they?
We do direct deposit for our payroll, and Jennifer is set up to do the final approval of the direct deposits.
Okay. So our banking is good until we get those minutes approved. Okay. Anything else? Okay, I'm adjourning the meeting so Mary can go get these minutes done so we can get the loan papers in. Thanks, guys.
These minutes, not
Thank you.
Here, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.